Blueyez got that fire.
All of us been struggling, all of us want money, all of us been hustling, all of us are hungry, all of us are down, all of us are here, we gon' get it how we wanna get it, dealing with the consequences. All of us been struggling, all of us want money, all of us been hustling, all of us are hungry, all of us are down, all of us are here, we gon' get it how we wanna get it, dealing with the consequences.
Many moons I've been dealing with this stress. So much weight I couldn't get it off my chest. Stuck in prison, had your boy feeling oppressed. But I came home, now your boy feeling blessed. Hey, a lot of others didn't make it. Some even committed suicide cause they couldn't take it. Some got addicted to drugs, they never could shake it. Overdose, they pulled the plug, said it's hard, couldn't make it. I chose another lane, stepped up critical thinking. Instead of stepping in quicksand, asking why I'm sinking. I came up with a better plan, made the distinction between being a better man and G. What's the reason? I put the G in grown gangster, call it what you want to. But I guarantee if you don't open your eyes, it's gonna haunt you. When you close your eyes to sleep, nightmares are gonna taunt you. Lose everything you love, and in the end, that's gonna haunt you. On my mama, nigga.
All of us been struggling, all of us want money, all of us been hustling, all of us are hungry, all of us are down, all of us are here, we gon' get it how we wanna get it, dealing with the consequences. All of us been struggling, all of us want money, all of us been hustling, all of us are hungry, all of us are down, all of us are here, we gon' get it how we wanna get it, dealing with the consequences. Blue eyes, no there ain't no gimmicks. Blue skies, no there ain't no limits to the status or the heights we'll reach. Higher learning with these rhymes on the mics we speak. Higher education, mass incarceration, it's an epidemic constantly sweeping across our nation. Public perception, lack of direction, teaching correction, rebuking deception, make no exception. I'm the wrecker of records and I'ma keep on pushing cause I'm fully invested. Relentless is the label, true kings at the table. Borns in the stable one day when we're able. But for now, I'ma keep my game tight, stable. Balancing my scale and working on my sales. I'm using my gift, I'm hoping that we all prevail. I remember that there's never been an option to fail, yeah. All of us been struggling, all of us want money, all of us been hustling, all of us are hungry, all of us are down, all of us are here, we gon' get it how we wanna get it, dealing with the consequences. All of us been struggling, all of us want money, all of us been hustling, all of us are hungry, all of us are down, all of us are here, we gon' get it how we wanna get it, dealing with the consequences.
What's up, y'all? It's Nytelife, and this is 4BarLoop, and I'm here with my guest tonight. He is the Fresno native recording artist, Michael Blueyez. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on your show, man. I'm really excited to be here and speak with you today.
Hey, that's dope, man. I see you back there. You sitting in the studio right now?
Yeah, actually, this is my own personal studio right here. I got my own setup, so when I'm ready to record, I get my raw vocals. I'm an audio engineer myself.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Speaking my language, brother. I'm an audio engineer too, so we we got it.
Yes, sir.
So again, thank you for coming on, man. So I'll go ahead and get it started. So in regards to your style, man, how would you categorize like your rhyme style?
So my rhyme schemes are real intricate. I do a lot of multis, but I do a slower delivery, and I use a lot of slant rhymes in my bars. So, but I'm very methodical with how I write, and I wrote for a long time. I got a stack of material that I'm just waiting to put to production that either I make myself or other artists make.
Yeah, man. I mean, everything seems clear and to the point as far as your rhymes is concerned. Because I got to hear a couple of songs, and your delivery is pretty much on point, man. And everybody's gonna get it immediately. It's not gonna be any searching and trying to figure things out. You straight to the point. So, what inspired you to start rhyming?
So for me, my backstory, I've only been home for about 20 months. I did 20 years 7 months and 6 days in prison. I went in '98, and then I didn't come home. I didn't parole until 2019 in June. And so when I was incarcerated, I grew up, in doing ciphers and in the neighborhood around homies. Just that's what the hip hop culture was. It was also influenced. It was also ingrained in the gang culture that I was growing up in. So all these things played a major role growing up. But when I got to prison, when I got sidetracked and sent to prison because I was going down the wrong path and making bad decisions, I got to prison, and music is what kind of helped me keep my mind together the whole time that I was in there. It went from just freestyle, like simple ciphers, to I took my craft seriously and started writing, and that's what I do. I write my songs. I don't go in and punch in, with little two bar freestyles. I spend a lot of time, a lot of time with the. I take my messages and my the whole complete package very seriously.
Yeah, so I didn't want to make that the complete story behind it. I mean, it's an intricate part of your story.
Yeah.
For you to kick that off and tell me that's dope. What is as far as how did that experience shape you as a man and an artist?
So, I mean, for a long time, I sat stagnant in there. I was wasting, instead of focusing on rhymes, I was focusing on, the still living that criminal lifestyle, even incarcerated. So once I started making those changes, I started writing and perfecting my craft. I read a couple of books. One of my mentors, X-Rated, specifically told me to study music business and the poetics of hip hop, which was written. It was the poetics of hip hop. Let's see, I think I got it down there somewhere.
That's all good.
Yeah, it's the Book of Rhymes. I still got the old copy of it, Adam Bradley.
Okay.
Right, so it's a great book, and it broke down song structure and how to really get into myself as an artist and how to figure out who I wanted to be as an artist, instead of focusing so much on how everybody else was writing their songs and what they were doing.
So that was your way of actually, that took the place of actually having a physical mentor teach you how to do things. You basically had to be self-taught as far as being intricate with writing rhymes and understanding scheme and delivery and all of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When I started realizing that I had a talent with the way I write and the way that I can communicate, whether it's in person or on paper or on my songs, there's a message, and I've learned how to communicate. I wanted to take that seriously, so I started studying all the greats. I started studying how Pac and Biggie wrote their songs. I read their bios and tried to get copies of their lyric sheets so that I could see how they wrote. Eminem, of course. Slaughterhouse, Royce the 5'9". I'm a big fan of Royce.
Oh, man, here you go.
So Crooked Eye, all of them, man, they're all phenomenal artists, and X-Rated, Lynch, everybody at the Block Star Evolution camp right now, Macintosh, everybody there is just, I mean, just to see how people take their craft seriously. I had to learn how to do that. So I started studying how to write a 16, how to write a hook, how to write a bridge, listening to how they pronounce words or how they harmonize over, certain melodies and stuff like that, So I wanted to learn, because every part of music has always intrigued me. Just like we learn an instrument as a hip hop artist, that's the same thing we have to do. We have to learn hip hop as an instrument, right? When we perform, when we write, it becomes a perfected craft, And I think a lot of people kind of got away from that.
Yeah, man, and that's the kind of tough thing, and as far as trying to groom young artists and stuff, I try to tell them sometimes you got to do your homework, man. You got to understand the way that things are written and why they're written, and voice inflection and tone, and what you're gonna need for this particular production and this particular tempo and all of that stuff. And you know, some of them don't want to do the work. You know, they just want to just get in and be like, okay, I can make sound effects and then I'm popping. And it's like, nah.
Right.
If you really want to stick around longer than 10 minutes, you're gonna have to learn this skill. It's definitely an art form, man, and it's definitely painting. If you don't know how to paint, you're not gonna stick around for long.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to adapt too, because people want to hear new stuff all the time. So you have to tell stories in new, creative ways. And I think that's why I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, have you found that? Have you found that as a challenge to try to adapt to today, or do you try to adapt to today's, hip hop landscape?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with all the emotional singing that's going on lately. I can't really rock with. I don't get me wrong. I listen to a lot of, but I don't really do the auto tune type rap. That's not my thing. So I don't want to knock anybody for it, but it's not my thing. My thing is entertainers. We're supposed to be able to perform with who we are. My voice is. I want my voice to sound like my voice. I want all the artists that I work with, I want their voice to sound like their voice, right, individually. And so I haven't struggled with that at all. I feel like I'm already almost complete, almost done with my second album. So it's grind. It's about staying on the grind. I'm working with one producer this time and just trying to try new things. And it's been challenging with how we have to do music now with COVID, but we're finding new ways to be creative.
Yeah, and that can actually lead me into my next question. I mean, as far as the COVID era, and you being out for 20 months, you initially just hit the ground right in the middle of this shit, pretty much. Yeah. And so, how have you been able to adapt? Because I noticed you were learning, you were learning your craft, you were learning the business side of it. How did this prepare you for what we're going through and hopefully coming out of in regards to COVID?
So before I came home, I studied the business part of it. I got my associate's degree in business before I even paroled. I buckled down, did everything I needed to do so that I had a business plan as soon as I hit the gate. Of course, I was intimidated after being locked up for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. I didn't really know. I could have prepared all day, but there were things that happened and transpired that I just couldn't have predicted and couldn't even have understood how I would feel going through it, right? So what the good thing though is when I paroled, I paroled about a year before COVID hit, actually, and so I was out 2 months. I was working full time as soon as I got out 2 months, went straight back to school and studied audio engineering at Fresno City College on campus for 10 months. So I got certified as an avid engineer there. And during that process, I was learning how to record myself properly, and then learning how to mix and master. I don't mix and master my own vocals. I send those to Blockstar Evolution, but I mix and master all my other artists' vocals.
Yeah, well, that's a skill, man. It's like, and that's one of the reasons why I picked up learning to mix and learning to master, because I want to be able to have longevity past this, because you ain't gonna be rocking on stage forever. Nobody want to see a 50-year-old man up there doing, on stage doing shit or whatever.
Or if so, just every now and then, what I'm saying? Right, all the time.
So I'm trying to stay, I'm trying to stay not necessarily relevant, but just kind of stay in the flow of hip hop in some fashion. So I definitely understand that as far as learning, to have more tools in your box than just, okay, I'm just a writer, or I'm just a hip hop artist, or I'm just an engineer, or I just make beats. You gotta learn how to dip your toe in the pool with everything. So
I'm 100% with that too, because I learned audio engineering the first 10 months, mastered that, got into music production, know how to produce beats now. After that, learned the marketing and promotion side of what goes into the album when we really want to push it to get some good views and get some good streams. After that, I just shot, directed, and edited my first music video. The 27th of last month, I ran a live stream concert, open mic concert on YouTube. So I've really been networking with the artists in here, and I started my own label. So it's really just trying to build the platform and understand all of it, and still do my fun with the albums. But the business side of it has always been the I love the business side of it as much as I love standing in front of a mic and rocking the crowd.
Yeah, for myself, man, it's like when I think Fresno, I immediately think of Planet Asia.
Yeah, he's a vet.
I think Planet Asia. Who did you look up to in the Fresno hip hop scene? I mean, I know Planet Asia was one of them, but who did you look up to in the Fresno hip hop scene?
Literally for me, I remember I was sitting in prison in California, and I just purchased Fashawn's Boy Meets World album, and I got the CD mailed in my package, got my package, and was bumping it, and was just blown away because his delivery and his rhyme schemes. I mean, just his message, his story. It's really inspiring. So Fashawn has been a big inspiration for me.
Okay, that's dope, man. So after you got out, what are some of the things that motivated you to move in a positive direction besides music?
Just the fact that I lost so much time, for making the mistakes that I made and being able to express myself with the music. I felt like I got to work, 5 times as hard right now to play catch up because, like we said, especially me, I'm so far behind. This is a young man's game. Based all the youngsters, they call me OG when I show up to do shows, you know what I mean? But I'm still there, still doing what I'm supposed to do because as entertainers, it don't matter whether you are 20 or you're 50. If you got it, you got it, Yep. I know a lot of older entertainers that are still making a lot of money in this industry and still influencing a lot of lives to make better decisions.
Yeah, man. I mean, when you out there, if you know your shit, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't nobody take that away from you. That'll never go away.
Right.
So, you definitely will be able to find a niche somewhere to be able to get your shit off, man. So digging into your story, I seen that you're very active with like the youth of your area, and you're doing some things as far as teaching youth production and kind of passing on some knowledge there. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
And well, for me, that's been the whole goal the whole time. If I wish I would have had some better role models growing up. Maybe I wouldn't have got involved in the things that I got involved with, and I wouldn't have hurt people like I did, growing up. And that had a real impact on me when I started understanding how my decisions have affected other people's lives in a big way. And so, all I can do is be what I like to call living amends for what I'm doing, right? Which is I'm making amends with my community for what I did to my community before I went to prison, and it's not just the one incident. It's numerous things that I did growing up that I'll never do again. And if I can prevent, younger gentlemen or women to not make those same decisions, then that's my goal. That's the whole point of this, is to try to give people a platform to be the best version of themselves that they could be.
Right. And I can understand you definitely wanting to do that and to give back, and that's a noble cause. But in the process of doing that, do you find these like diamonds in the rough that you can bring in, that you can mold and you can cultivate and make them into better artists?
Absolutely. There's specifically 2 artists that I'm working with right now that G Killer and Fizzo. They're both artists on my label, and I just mixed, mastered the first single, recorded, directed, and edited his music video. We're about to drop that in a couple weeks. That's G Killer's music video, Top of My Game, and then Fizzo. We're working on a couple of different projects for him as well. I'm mixing. Actually, G Killer, we're actually putting out a whole album of his soon. Mm-hmm. That's what we've been working on first, and so just really trying to give guys an opportunity. If I can help people get time to record or show up to do a music video, and then when we have to run these other events and they show up to support that, it gives them positive things to do and keeps them off the street.
Right.
And that's the goal. If I can grow that into a larger organization, that's the goal.
Yeah, well, I definitely think you're on your way to doing that, man. Especially with all of the tools that you have, and how you seem to be so giving with your time, and are willing to try to build some of these youngsters up. That says a lot about you, and that's gonna definitely go a long way into building your empire on your own with the things that you're doing. So we're gonna go into some of your music. We have the visual for one of your singles. It's dope. I watched it. Blown away, man. Was blown away. And the track is called My Way. So we're gonna check that out right now.
Okay.
I'm Blueyez, homie, I'm doing it my way. Like West Side Gun, I'm spitting the flyway. R.I.P. Big Pun, battle extraordinaire. I'm heavily equipped, can't slip, I'll stay prepared, yeah. You the one beef, good grief, you are a vegan. I'm the type of beast who needs some meat to sink his teeth in. If you want funk, run up, I'll leave you bleeding. Pepper Le Pew, you're through, no longer breathing, grieving. No way you could get even, got beat by the odds. 3 shots left you sitting defeated, repeated. No way you could get even, got beat by the odds. 3 shots left you sitting defeated. Concrete thrown in the lake, your kicks are cement, meaning that you're sleeping with the fishes, keeping secrets. See this, mic is my weapon, I keep it close. Hitchy on the trigger, always ready to blow. Let's go, I remain in battle mode. Unload, click clack, exploding and reload. I'm aiming at your melon, yelling, give up the ghost. That's when I witness your body release the hold on your soul. Hey, Blueyez, homie, I'm doing it my way. Like West Side Gun, I'm spitting the flyway. R.I.P. Big Pun, battle extraordinaire. I'm heavily equipped, can't slip, I stay prepared. Yeah, I'm Blueyez, homie, I'm doing it my way. Like West Side Gun, I'm spitting the flyway. R.I.P. Big Pun, battle extraordinaire. I'm heavily equipped, can't slip, I stay prepared, yeah. Yo, I'm the new Sinatra. Blue eyes and bright lights flashing like a montage. And the entourage is looking like some mobsters. Had you all terrified, lost your bravado. I put a fork in your neck like you're a pasta. I ain't no crooner in these ciphers, I'm a monster. I'll dice you up nice, knife you with staccato. I can hear the fear in your voice in vibrato. They pull your number, I'll scratch you off like the lotto. Never leave a witness or description, that's my motto. They pull your number off, I'll scratch you like the lotto. Never leave a witness or description, that's my motto. You were talking out your neck, being a wise guy. Now you're in a suit with a Colombian necktie. Mr. Clean, the scene was left spotless. Lyrical assassin in and out, well I got this. Blueyez, homie, I'm doing it my way. Like West Side Gun, I'm spitting the flyway. R.I.P. Big Pun, battle extraordinaire. I'm heavily equipped, can't slip, I stay prepared. Yeah, I'm Blueyez, homie, I'm doing it my way. Like West Side Gun, I'm spitting the flyway. R.I.P. Big Pun, battle extraordinaire. I'm heavily equipped, can't slip, I stay prepared, yeah.
All right, and we are back. 4BarLoop, and I'm here with Michael Blueyez. We just checked out the dope visual for My Way. So why don't you tell me about the idea of that and the creative process for that track?
So that was actually the first single that I produced myself as well. I also produced the beat on that. It was right like the last semester of audio engineering where everything was finally coming together. I mixed and mastered my vocals on that specific one.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was and that was hard, for me. It's hard for some reason. It's harder for me to mix my own vocals than it is to mix other artists' vocals, But specifically with that song, I wanted to do the whole thing. I didn't get to shoot the video. I had my buddy Vincent from TME Visions do the video for me. Phenomenal videographer out of Fresno. And yeah, man, all I had Fizzos in that video with me. Sophia Ruby's there as a guest appearance. I had a couple of guys with me that were in prison with me that had paroled, and I try to bring them to my events to keep them focused on good decisions. But it was basically I wanted to let everybody know that I'm in my own lane and I'm doing it my way, and and just like there's a tribute to Big Pun in there for the legacy that man left, with what he did before he passed away, and West Side Gun, these are a newer artist that has really paved his own lane. So I just really had to tap into that and let people know that I'm a reflection of myself as a big artist,
and see, that's the cool thing about you and your music is like it's a diverse palette, man. It's not even just like a lot of times when you're in the Bay Area, we both come from the Bay Area. You're kind of influenced by what you grow up around and the sound that you have. And sometimes we don't always evolve out of that. But it looks like, I mean, man, you ran off West Side Gun, you ran off Big Pun, and you're from Fresno. And that says a lot, man, because that means that you actually are just a real big student of other genres of hip hop, other coasts, and effectively that kind of just comes out in your music.
And I appreciate that you say that, because I want the one of the biggest things that I love about hip hop is the diversity of it, and how much it don't matter where you're from, if you have a story to tell, if you can just stick to yourself and be you on the mic and be you when you're writing these songs. That's gonna open up its own lane. People are gonna want to listen to Nytelife, and they're gonna want to spit bars like Nytelife, because you paved your own lane. And that's what I try to tell. When I hear people use a rap voice, like, man, knock it off, man. No, go stick to your voice when we're on the mic. I want you to use your voice when you're on the mic.
Yep.
It's important.
Yeah, man. So let's go into talking about your album, Long Road Home. Tell us about, using this album to really paint your story.
So it was hard to get the song down to 8 tracks, but I very specifically, from start to finish, it was, I opened the whole album with All of Us Have Been Hustling, which was I believe it was the very first music video that I dropped with the album. It was about 2 weeks before the album dropped. And it was I did it as a as a cinematic, telling a story about drug addiction and alcoholism, and then at the end of the story, success. Right, a person was able to my boy Fizzo's dumping the bottle of liquor down the drain, gives the viewers the impression that he's choosing a better way of life. If that was his problem, right? No judgments, but if that was his problem, he's deciding to make good decisions for himself and his family. So I wanted that, and to have X, who's the big homie on that song, just to open the whole album up, just to let people know that we're not playing right here. That I'm coming with big features. I'm coming with big support, and as much as I believe in myself, so do people who associate with me, and other artists, and other phenomenal entertainers in this industry that helped me get where I'm at today.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, X-Rated was one of your mentors.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you were able to pick up from him in regards to what you're doing now.
I remember, just some of the questions that he would ask me in the beginning. Like, what's success to you? And he would tell me, you need to figure out what your story is, because at the time I was still learning. I was trying to learn how to write when I met him. I'd already put out a couple mixtapes, but I was learning how to write and perfect my craft even better. and still struggling with that. But so he told me to be myself, and as I'm gradually changing, and because he was also my sponsor and helped me get clean, off of pills. So he wanted me to talk about that process, talk about those feelings that I was going through, those thoughts that I was remembering, write about, problems that I was having with my family, put all that stuff on paper, put all those feelings that I was experiencing in prison on paper, and try to write as many songs as you can before you parole. Because when you parole, you're really not going to have that much time to write, which is true. And I'm happy that I did do that. I was able to parole with almost 5 notepads of paper towards the end of my term. And, so he taught me to be prepared, don't procrastinate. And he told me that I need to get my business right, which is exactly what I did. When I was told to get my business right, for me, that meant studying the entertainment industry from a business perspective, which is exactly what I did for the next 3 years, 4 years after that, until I came home. That was my whole goal, soak it all up. So as soon as I hit this gate, I hit the pavement running.
Good. So with you sitting on all that material, man, you got all them clips that you got stacked up. Is it hard for you to be patient to go through those and put out material? Because it's obvious that when you've been down a while and then you come out, you want to release as much stuff as possible. How are you exercising restraint with that and being focused on one project at a time?
For me, it was about quality. I wanted to make sure that I don't want to be that artist that's flooding the industry with singles and albums that aren't mixed and mastered properly. That the complete package isn't put together. The story isn't there. When the songs are played, I wanted the story to be there, and I wanted it to be short enough where it was gonna get his attention. The whole album's 24 minutes long, but from start to finish, I felt like those 8 songs were slappers. And when the hard part though is I have a lot of rhymes, but the story's changed now. I'm at a different spot when I first wrote those rhymes, right? So a lot of that material I may never use, or maybe I'm only using some of it, because this album that I'm almost finished now, I wrote that complete album from scratch. It's going to be a 5-song EP. The producer sent me the 5 beats. I wrote the 5 songs in 2 weeks, around my schedule, because I work 2 full-time jobs as well.
Oh man, look at you.
Yeah, and so I finally got those songs done, and then I went into his studio one Saturday, recorded half of it. Went into the studio last Saturday, recorded the other half of it. Now I'm gonna go in this next Saturday and fix a couple of bars that I want to fix. Some of the pronunciations and deliveries on some of them.
Yeah, I mean, man, you're doing mixing, you're doing mastering. You are, you're putting out artists, you're putting out yourself, you're shooting videos, you're working 2 full-time jobs. Is it hard for you to balance your family in regards to your music?
Absolutely. My wife, it's just my wife and I. We've been married almost 15 years, but she's my biggest fan. She's been my biggest supporter when I was locked up. She was patient with me even when I was a knucklehead in there, and so she's been patient with me when I'm home. My son, he'll be 23 this year, so he lives up in Sacramento too, in South Sac. And so I see him, he drives down to see me, usually once a month until I get off parole, because I'm also on parole still, so it's a little bit hard to travel up there to Northern California. But I'm actually being here right in Fresno. I manage my time well. I'm lucky if I get 5-6 hours of sleep a night. But and then I work 10 hours on the roof, and then I got 3 or 4 hours a night for a nonprofit organization that I work for to get my 40 hours a week, from that. And then on the weekends I run around and do errands for all the older people in my family, and set schedules. My artists I let them know ahead of time, hey, we're shooting a video from 2 to 4. Make sure you're at this address, guys. Right, and so we all mount up, handle it. All right, disperse. Let's go back to your lives. Right, we got to
Right.
get back to our lives. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do, and it's just about time management. Not everything is pretty, and it's not always nice, and but we do our best to make it happen.
Man, I commend you and I feel you all at the same time, man, because it is a battle when you have 10 pounds of shit and you got to fit in a 5-pound bag. It is tough. It is tough sledding.
Yeah, it is.
And to find that time for your significant other, find that time for your kids, find that time for, you may not even be to see your homies like you really want to. I thank God that, a lot of the people that I record with and that I work with are my friends. So, that's kind of where I get my quality time with friends at.
Right.
But there's certain elements, man, there's some sacrifice that has to go along with you wanting to have your dream the way that you want it. And, you seem like you have figured that out, and you have it coded so where it's going to work out with you. And it doesn't sound like you're giving up too much to, on one end to get other stuff done in another. Because like you said, I mean, I wish I could go off of 5 hours sleep. I'm not built like that, to be honest.
Well, I play catch up on like Saturday on my Saturday and Sunday, my day off. I'm lucky I might get 8 on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I feel refreshed when I wake up.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you got any dream collaborations for folks that you on your wish list that you want to work with?
Just the biggest one of the biggest things that I enjoy about this structure in the music game is just enjoying the creative process. So like when I started my album, even though I had a number one, having X, doing a feature with X, that was a no thinker. We already knew that when I came home, we were going to link up and get that done.
Right.
But all the other artists, I did a song with Fashawn, who was, I bought his album in the pen. So to do a song with him, it blew my mind as a person, as an artist, as a fan of his music, but also as an artist trying to expand my network. So for me, I don't have any aspirations of doing a feature with anybody except for just networking with everybody. I want to network. I want to do a feature with every major artist on the West Coast. I want to do features with people that I've never even thought I would do a feature with in New York. Whoever wants to feature, we can get it in. And as I grow as an artist, then I know that my opportunities, I'll be able to feature with artists that are at the same playing field as me. So I'm hoping that I know in my heart that eventually Relentless Vision Entertainment is a label that's going to be recognizable anywhere here on the West Coast, and we're going to get major features. We're going to get major features that way. You got to have money for it.
Yeah. That's the funding is the tricky part.
Yeah, there isn't I want to do a feature with this artist, and hey, you think you could do a free feature for me? No, that feature's gonna cost 10, 15 racks. You know what I mean? So
no, we don't even operate in the world of free, man.
My
lucky
pen
to
costs paper.
when you know them, right? Yeah. Everything, and that's what I tell people too, man. It's like I deal with these producers and stuff, and it's like, people got to understand, you asking for people to give you free beats, but you have no idea how much they fucking equipment costs. Look at all the shit they had to buy to make this, to be able to pull this. I mean, it's not like they just was able to just, bring this out of their mind and put it in to whatever program and then make a beat out of it. Nah, they had to buy all this different equipment, all these plugins, all these sounds.
Well, not just that, the opportunity costs of having to learn how to use it, the headaches of learning how to use it, learning how to put some good music together, and then when you got something that's fire, I'm gonna give it away to somebody? No, it don't work that way. We're gonna talk prices.
yeah, and it's just and also the most undervalued thing that I think we constantly don't get credit for is our time. We do not put a price on our time like we're supposed to, because it's just like, man, the time that you took to learn, just like you were saying with learning all these different aspects and equipment and programs and all of that stuff, the time that you're losing with your family, the time that you're losing where you could be out making money somewhere else, but you are dedicated to your craft and doing this. There's a level of compensation that needs to be made there, and sometimes people don't know how to put that price tag on it.
And for me, I went from being in prison where we wrote and communicated on little pieces of paper to our homies, right? Little tiny kites that were like microscopic print, to going to college campus and learning Pro Tools, which was it's the industry standard, but for me, I never used any other DAW before, and that's what I had to learn from. And I just barely learned how to use a laptop at the time, right? So I'd be like in class, how do I get to something simple? How do I upload a instrumental to Pro Tools, right? Like I didn't know anything or how to do nothing. You know what I mean? So it was a learning process. It was a learning curve for sure.
Yeah, but once you get around that and you do some enough times and you learn how to make the donut multiple times, and it's easy for you to make donuts. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that experience is very undersold. People just think you just automatically know how to do some shit. Nah, man, it just takes time, effort, energy, and sleepless nights trying to figure this shit out and frustration. I mean, there's been some times where I want to take this laptop and throw that shit right out the window.
Yeah, absolutely.
the program's not doing what I want it to do, and I'm like, man, you know what? Fuck this.
Well, I get frustrated. Like you try to log into a software like Pro Tools, and then it tells you like an error. Then you got to go spend 4 hours trying to figure out why the error is there, and uninstall and installing this or that. So it's software's tricky and a headache.
Bro, you know what the most frustrating thing is? It's to do an entire song and then not fucking save. And something happened and it's just gone, or you just cut your shit off and then you come back and you're like, oh, where's that song at? Oh, I didn't save. Seriously? Like,
that happened to me the other day. I was editing video, and I had I had been editing through about 2 hours of music video, and I had about 20 clips all stacked up on the timeline, and then I backed out of it, and then it says save. I was like, no, I'd saved it, and then I was like, oh no, I didn't save it, and it was gone. I had already so I had to go get all those clips all over again.
Yeah, hard head make a soft ass, man. Like Mom said. You learn quick. I had that shit happen the other day with one of these 4BarLoops, man. Shout out to Andrew Lozano. I uploaded his shit, man, and it was the wrong video, and then I had to take it down, and then there was a piece that was wrong in it, so I had to take it down again, and I had to upload it again. So shit didn't come out till midnight. It was supposed to be out at 8 p.m. and it was a whole mess, but definitely a good learning experience for me.
One thing I learned is that we have to always understand that something's gonna go wrong. It's how we adapt to it. So when it happens at performances, you mispronounce a word, you can't stop and be like, hey run that back. Unless you're gonna do it like or like as a part of the show and try to hype the crowd up or something. But you don't get no takebacks on some stuff. You just have to learn how to adapt to it and learn from it. And as entrepreneurs, we're learning from other people in the game by observing and getting education. But at the same token, for me, I know that a lot of my learning happens from making mistakes.
Yeah. So, down the line, what's like your, like one of your like main goals or aspirations as far as for music? I know there's the basic goal to make it or whatnot. But, what is there something that's out there to like, okay, if I get this, I know I'm here.
I'm going to win a Grammy. Eventually, I'm going to win a Grammy for my music. That's what I want, and I know eventually, no matter what, if I put out quality music and I know that it's reaching, mass amounts of people in their heart and in their mind, and it's going to make waves enough where I win a Grammy. That's the impossible becoming possible. That's a dream for me.
Yeah, man, and it's and I think that's just from an era, of us growing up, and I think that's one of those, kind of those standard bearing moments where you go, if I get a Grammy, I know I've arrived. I'm here. It doesn't seem like the Grammy is the end all be all anymore for the younger generation in music. They're not really going goofy over it from what I see. I think they're more paying attention to status and what everybody sees them as opposed to being rewarded for what they're doing.
And that's the unfortunate part, because for me, like, to win a Grammy means that I worked really hard to accomplish a task. It's just another certificate. That's all it is, right? That's all a Grammy is another
Right.
trophy or another certificate for your hard work. I think people kind of got away from the hard work, and I think people got away maybe from taking for granted the craft, and the culture. I had a young kid named Logan Morales. He had reached out to me in October and November of last year and wanted to learn music production. And I was like, yeah, sounds good. Let's link up pretty soon. And then a couple weeks later, I found out that he was murdered in Fresno
man.
from gun violence, I reached out to the family, and they confirmed it, and I felt terrible. I spoke with the mother and the father, and I just released a short tribute to him this morning. He had sent me a video of him pop locking in the mall, like the same month that we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the family if I could take that video and make a music production for it, and maybe make a Stop the Violence video for it. So I did that, and I sent it to the family, and they love it, and they approved it, and they asked me if I'd share it, and I posted that on all my social media this morning. It's just a tribute to, because I say that I say that to say this, that he was a young man who wanted to get involved in music. And he's not here no more. He don't get to pursue that dream,
Right.
And I think that this happens a lot where somebody young becomes victim to the streets, and they don't get that dream. So those youngsters right now who are getting that opportunity to live that dream, maybe start appreciating where they're at a little bit more in life, and maybe start working a little bit harder to get where they want to be in life. Because nothing gets handed to us for free. Everything requires hard work, and that's something that I want to teach to anybody on my team, is a good work ethic.
Yeah, it's like you have to be willing to make these sacrifices. It may not be the night out with the chicks. Is probably not going to be, the best thing for you. You may have to forego that. You may have to forego kicking it. You may have to forego some things that you normally would do in order to be able to pursue your dream the way that you need to pursue it. You can't just pursue your dream on your own time. You have to pursue it and give up things in order to do that. And I think, society has made us lazy, and everything is so microwave, and you get it now, and people aren't working as hard for shit. And then they're being rewarded for some things. Although it be short term, they're working, half the time or whatever, and then they get results, and it's like, oh, I don't have to do nothing anymore. And it's kind of a weird landscape the way it is now, man. Because as growing up, it's like you were taught, dude, if you work hard, you're gonna be rewarded for what you do. The person that worked the hardest is the one that's going to get the most spoils and the most riches and all of that stuff. It doesn't really apply today. And that's kind of just, it's kind of weird, but at the same time, I'm not willing to give that up, because that's just a staple. It's a staple of us to know that, if we sweat and busted our ass hard enough for something, and we get rewarded, however small that reward, it is still our reward.
Right. Absolutely.
So why don't you go ahead, man? It's been so dope to sit here and talk to you, man. I probably could do it for a long time. I know I tell these guests these all the time. I get so lucky with being able to interview some of these really dope people that come across the culture, man. And you didn't disappoint today at all. Definitely a dope story. You were really really gave a lot of yourself that you didn't have to give in order to be able to get people to understand where you come from. And I commend you for every step that you're making, man. I'm gonna be watching, you know, and it's an honor to be able to interview you. Tell the people where they can find you. Give them the Instagrams and the Twitters and all that stuff.
So you can find me on Facebook under Michael Blueyez, or I also have a Relentless Vision Entertainment logo fan page. You could contact with me there. Also, I have Instagram at michael.blueyez. That's BLUEYEZ. And YouTube channel. I got some dope music on there if you want to see some visuals. One of the newest ones that I dropped, Diseducated. It's the last one that I dropped. It hit 11,000 views, and we used Google ads on that one, so it got a good response from it. Blockster Evolution promoted that, and I'm dropping a new music video called "Struggling Youth" in a couple of weeks, so we're really excited about that one too.
Yeah, well, make sure if you can get that to me, man, so I can run it, because all these platforms I got, I'm gonna have time in between.
Oh, you know what? I could probably just send it to you.
Yeah.
I could send it to you, and you can put it on this show if you want.
Oh yeah, okay, we'll
just do that because this is all a whole live stream event, so you could just put it on there like that as like a premiere or something.
All right, so that's dope. So we'll go ahead and do it. What's the name of the track again?
That one's called "Struggling Youth."
All right, so we're gonna get out of here.
Killer.
We're gonna get out of here, and we're gonna play "Struggling Youth." Michael Blueyez. So thank you for your time, brother. Hope to see you here again. I definitely will. You got so much music going on. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do this. We're gonna run this back again. So appreciate your time, and thank you, man. Thank you to your whole camp over there. Y'all all dope, man. So looking forward to hearing some more from you. So we're gonna get out of here. Difficult roads often lead to most beautiful destinations. Shoot your shot. Go for the win. You might make it. Peace.
If I could convey just one thing to you, show the world what your dreams really mean to you. Know what you've been through. I know what pain feels like. I was tired of it burning up my insides. If I could convey just one thing to you, show the world what your dreams really mean to you. Know what you've been through. I know what pain feels like. In hindsight, I see success cause my mind's right. Stress about grinding so my seed can eat. We're a reflection of a role models teaching the street. So I did what I felt like. I did what felt nice. I'm second guessing everything that don't feel right. Can you imagine the horror I felt? Realizing my child's life was like mine is epitome of public disease inside the pit of me. Paired with a list of treason that made my trigger speak. Mama all strung out, my pops was in the pen again. Paroled twice, now he's back in the pen again. Revolving door, scale and revolver clutched as I dissolve and evolve some more. Similarities in my life and the way my parents raised me. They was children and had no safety. Chain reaction from the top of the tree. Then the cycle starts over with the drop of a seed, yeah. If I could convey just one thing to you, show the world what your dreams really mean to you. Know what you've been through. I know what pain feels like. I was tired of it burning up my insides. If I could convey just one thing to you, show the world what your dreams really mean to you. Know what you've been through. I know what pain feels like. In hindsight, I see success cause my mind's right.
To get in the booth, gotta speak to the youth that let me tell them the truth. The broken homes and broken lives, and most won't make it to 25. Hit them with the hustle and drive. I'm just chasing my dream, trying to get to the top. Matter what, I never stop. Good kids nowadays got their own struggle, even got their own hustle. Don't ever buckle, homie, one day you'll get your time to shine, I promise that. Spitting straight facts up on the track, no I never slack. Always focused on my mission, trying to get a better vision. Never quit and stay moving forward in your journey. I know people hate, trying to discriminate on things we create. I know it's hard, some days you wanna give up, but never give in. The fire burns within you, so take this knowledge, go grab a pen. Cause for the youth, this is where the story begins. This is where the story begins.
If I could convey just one thing to you, show the world what your dreams really mean to you. Know what you've been through, I know what pain feels like. I was tired of it burning up my insides. If I could convey just one thing to you, show the world what your dreams really mean to you. Know what you've been through, I know what pain feels like. In hindsight, I see success